Call the meeting to order and call on Councilor Brown to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the roll.
Councilor Brown.
Here.
Councilor Jennings.
Here.
Councilor Broughton.
Here.
Councilor Watson. Councilor Barton.
Here.
Mayor Lovelace.
Here.
We have a quorum to do business.
Approval of the January 11, 2021 regular meeting minutes.
Motion to approve January 11 regular meeting.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilor Barton, a second by Councilor Broughton to approve the regular meeting minutes for January 11th, 2021. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Councilor Brown?
Yes.
Councilor Jennings?
Yes.
Councilor Broughton?
Yes.
Councilor Barton?
Yes.
The minutes are approved.
Under new business, the first thing we have is a proclamation, and I will read the proclamation, and then I'll ask to come to the front, and I will present it. In recognition of meritorious service to the City of Brewton and its residents, whereas the City of Brewton seeks to support and encourage outstanding leadership and dedicated service to its residents, and whereas Samara Campbell serves Brewton City Schools as the leader of nursing policy, and whereas Samara Campbell has worked with a dedicated focus on shaping the school system's response to the COVID-19 crisis, and whereas Samara Campbell has directed and implemented federally issued protocols to protect teachers and students, and whereas the city and its residents depend on medical professionals, administrators, and educators as the public faces the greatest health care crisis to face the nation in our lifetime. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Mayor and City Council that Samara Campbell be honored by the City of Brewton and all its residents, proclaimed this 25th day of January 2021. Comply.
And Mayor and her kindergarten teacher. Y'all are welcome to stay for the whole meeting, or you can leave right now if you'd rather. Next item is a discussion on the demolition of the west wing of the Brewton Heights Shopping Center, and I'll call on Steve Uhouse.
Mayor, we're on a campaign and certainly have great interest in the beautification and the attractive maintenance of our city. In so doing, that led us to take a good look at many of the properties in Brewton, one being the former Brewton Heights Shopping Center across the road. It's under the ownership of Namdar. We all drew the conclusion from inspections and from observation that it needed attention. We followed through with the legal process of notification, and we had a representative, Mr. Richard Holman, who manages properties for Namdar, who took upon himself leadership responsibilities in addressing this problem to our concern. So we had that meeting, and he spoke to the council several weeks ago, and we touted this date as a date when he would return and give a report to the council as to the status of that property and their intentions future going forward. So with that in mind, I'll ask Mr. Holman to come and give his report to the council.
Mayor, City Councilman, City Council ladies, and everybody here, I appreciate you letting me be here today. And not to get off track, but I am down here in the great city of Brewton, and if you are a Bama fan, I'd like to say roll tide to anybody in here tonight. So Mayor, City Councilman, we've done a lot of work since I've last been in here. I've been on calls today. We've got multiple bids on that property. The property's definitely in, the back part is in terrible shape. It does have mold, the roof's about to collapse. And, you know, so based on our conference call today, conference call Friday, based on the folder of bids that I've received from everyone, I'm just going to kind of tell you where it's at and kind of where we're at. So, you know, if you think you want, well, we could tear down the building, okay? But that's $250,000 to tear down the building. All right, so we can take the building and we can bring the building back up to standard. And just to get it to be leasable again is about $500,000 to do that. So really right off the bat, you know, a decision has to be made whether NAMDAR wants to spend $250,000 and tear it down and do some redevelopment, or do they want to spend money and try to lease it out again. So one thing NAMDAR said to me today and Friday in the conference call is that they're not in the development business. They buy real estate, you know, they'll sell some real estate, but they're not wanting to do anything. You know, I spoke with Mayor Loveless on Friday. Steve's been kind to me every time I spoke with him, and I appreciate all that. But it looks like to me what the decision that's being made is here is that they're going to sell the property. So I made a suggestion that the mayor brought to me, and the suggestion was to get NAMDAR to donate the property to the City of Brewton. Okay, I did have a call from someone that wanted to put a food bank in there, maybe Miss Johnson. I was 100% for that. I couldn't make that decision to do that without knowing what we were going to do. But I think where we're at today is to make a decision here and go forward about our decisions on the property. So it looks like to me that NAMDAR wants to sell the whole shopping center as a whole. And they didn't go for the idea of donating the property. So, you know, we talk about getting an appraisal and seeing what the property's worth. By the time I was getting here today, they were going to try to give me an idea of what maybe dollar amount they wanted for the property to sell it for. I haven't received the message since, as of right now. I don't have a number to tell you if a number is $100,000 or if it's $3 million. I don't know the value of the property. I think the property's got to be appraised. You know, I would say that, you know, we could possibly find a real estate agent down here that's in the commercial real estate business that maybe has some contacts out there that might can work with us to help sell the property. But I'm here today to tell you that NAMDAR's decision going forward is to sell that property. Now, what we need to do until we get it sold, up until then, you know, I'm here really to get some feedback. We can board it up. It looks bad enough like it is. Or, you know, you can give us some other suggestions and I'll take it back. But at the end of the day, we want to do what's right with the City of Brewton. They own the property. You got to make it right. And for them, if making it right, it's going to cost $500,000 just to get it rentable. And then you don't know if you can have tenants coming in there or not. You do have something you got to look at. I like the idea of maybe bringing some more housing projects here, apartments here, maybe with some opportunities here in Brewton. But again, it's not something I'm able to make that decision on. So again, you know, if you guys want to give back some feedback, I have many quotes. I have more quotes coming. But at the end of the day, it just looks like to me the best thing for NAMDAR to do is to sell the property. And that's where we're at today. So, you know, if you wanted to kind of tell me something to take back to them, I'll do that. It is an eyesore. Y'all know boarding up the windows and glasses are going to help. But I'm for whatever you ask me to do to carry the message back to get it done. And that's
But today, there's no vote. It's, Steve Uhouse will come back with his recommendation at the next meeting, and the council will have an opportunity at that time. But if anybody has any questions or anything they'd like to ask, feel free.
Are we talking about the west wing? Is that the only structure we're talking about, or are we talking about all of it? up there?
No, you're talking about well, correct, Steve, tell them exactly where we're talking about.
It is the west wing, from what was formerly the Sears building, all
Yes.
the way up to what would have been the Pickle Barrel,
okay.
that whole wing of buildings there, which does give rise to an additional issue, though. The stretch of buildings with the carriage house, we've not sent out a notification on that, but that needs improving and updating as well. But the purposes of this conversation is that west wing.
The council have any further questions? We appreciate you coming down this way today.
Okay, Mayor, and I appreciate it, Steve, everyone here, I appreciate it. So the best thing to go back and is for us to prepare a plan to see about putting it on the market. Do you have anything you want us to do before then? Or you're saying to come back to the next month and you guys will have a decision what you want to do with the property until then?
I just know that the next meeting, Steve will report to the council.
Okay?
And then whatever action, if any, if the council wants to take at that time, that's what they'll do.
Okay, that sounds fair.
I can't speak for them because I don't know
Okay,
until
I got
the
you.
next meeting.
I'm good with that. You good with that? Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The next item is to approve funding to replace the roof on the old Ritz building in downtown Brewton. Resolution 21-0125, and I'll call on city clerk.
Councilors, Mayor, we received 2 bids for that particular building. The problem with it is that, and we're obviously asking for the lower bid, is who we would award the resolution and the contract to. The water is coming inside the building. It's going to just get worse as time goes on. So these are the prices. They really were not that drastically different, just a few $100s, but we got Wedge Roofing, who gave a bid of $34,500, and RMCC gave a bid of $35,800, so we went with Wedge Roofing with the lower bid.
Oh, motion to pass resolution 21-0125. Second.
I have a motion by Councilor Brown and a second by Councilor Barton to pass resolution number 21-0125. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Councilor Brown?
Yes.
Councilor Jennings?
Yes.
Councilor Broughton?
Yes.
Councilor Barton?
Yes.
Resolution 21-0125 to approve a contract with Wedge Roofing Company is approved.
The next item is an update on Hurricane Sally, on the FEMA funding that we've applied for reimbursement and or grants. And Brock Hope has been in charge of that process, but because of COVID exposure, he sent a written report to the city clerk, so I'll call him the clerk.
Brock sent me this today. These are some of the projects at the top that we have completed. FEMA only pays a certain percentage of a job, so he's got it broken down, what he has presented to FEMA, how much, and actually how much FEMA will reimburse us. At this point, we have received no funds from FEMA, and they have not indicated when we might receive funds. Brock has a call weekly with our FEMA rep, and there's a website he has to upload lots and lots of documentation, so he has handled all of this for us. There are quite a few outstanding projects. At the bottom, you'll notice there's quite a few. These are all projects that he has already notified FEMA of, they are aware of. He is constantly uploading documentation. So they really will not give us any indication on when we could expect to see funds, if they are, you know, anything like that. He just works with them on a weekly basis, pretty much just jumping through hoops. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'll answer what I can. I know Ray Madden's in here, and some of these projects he's aware of. I'm sure he could help us as well, but we just wanted to give you an idea where we were thus far with the FEMA projects.
And when I talked directly myself with FEMA state director, when I was a little surprised that it was taking us this long to even get anywhere, he said, Mayor, I want you to understand we're still working on Katrina claims, which is shocking. But if you notice under outstanding projects that you don't see the dollar amount up there, one of them is the Lee Street Bridge from Brewton to East Brewton. And the damage to that bridge is substantial, several $1 million, and it's, as far as I know, it's still closed. So there's a lot of effort going in, and I will tell the council that the first several meetings that we went to and the first different groups that they would bring in here to talk to us, and then they would just disappear, and another group would come, and then they would disappear. So it has not been a very smooth process by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, I do think we're on like our 4th rep, so when you get a new rep, they say you don't have to start all over, but there is a lot of conversations that have to be rehashed. So Brock has been handling all of that for us, luckily.
All right. If he's not here, I guess I won't really burden you with trying to answer questions.
I appreciate that.
Next item, there's 2 items, are both mayoral appointments. The first one, the term of Eileen Manuel is expiring on the Brewton Housing Board, so I reappoint Eileen Manuel. And on the Tree and Beautification Board, term of Sammy Weaver is expiring, I reappoint Sammy Weaver to that board. No further business, the meeting's adjourned.